Welcome to the Mint Minute with Matt and Kat. And in this minute, we're going to talk about purchasing equipment or vetting equipment.
And dealing with reps.
Yes. And we have a lot of great friends that are reps. In fact, you and I have both been reps.
That's how I got started in this industry.
So, and actually, me too.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but I just think it's funny because, you know, we do have one specific rep who comes to the back door where he knows the offices are and starts to yell down the hall, Matt!
Yes, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys have dealt, you know, once you have been in this industry for a while and all the aesthetic reps know that you have a clinic, you know, there's not a day that goes by that we don't have some rep coming to the front desk trying to sell something. And, you know, one, we try to be respectful. We were both reps. We try to treat them with respect, but they also have to be respectful to us and of our time. But the one thing that we really focus on and with our consulting clients is let them know that there's a lot of snake oil in this industry, okay? Nobody is going to walk through your door and say, I want to sell you the second best laser or the second best skincare line. It's always going to be the best. And so it's really important that you vet it well, because when you make $100,000 or a $200,000 mistake, it's painful.
It hurts.
It's very painful.
Yeah, and I think, you know, between the two of us, I mean, you're definitely more of the dreamer, let's try everything, which has taught me so much, truly. And I dream, but I'm more of like the, hey, it better work. Like, prove it to me, show it to me. I'm not, I'm a realist.
Realist.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
So between the two of us, I think it really works. So, you know, what are some of the steps you take when you're looking at a piece of equipment?
So, Kat's right, I do love new technology. And believe me, in 20 years, I've made purchasing mistakes that hopefully I've learned from. Well, first of all, understanding that their story is going to be great, okay, always. What's not always great are clinical studies, and understanding what is a real study and what's just a fake study is important. An IRB, Independent Review Board study, versus, 7 people got a 42% decrease in whatever. But even more important is they're all going to give you references to call. And I'm not saying don't call them, but understand it's going to be a good reference. In fact, a lot of those references are paid, which is fine. I mean,
friends
or something. They know they're going to say great things. So let's say you're looking at Laser XYZ, and they give you 3 references. They're all great. Google Laser XYZ New York, Miami, Phoenix, LA, Chicago, big cities, and find out clinics that have that laser. Call those clinics. They are not prepared for your call. They're not paid for your call. And that to me is a true reference. And always ask this question. If you could have the opportunity to make the decision again, would you? Because having a $150,000 piece of equipment that turns into a coat rack a year later, it hurts.
Yeah, so what do you say when you call the clinic and try to get the owner on the phone?
I think the best thing is let them know, hey, I'm calling, I'm not a competitor, I'm in a different geographic area, I own a clinic, I'm considering buying the laser that you bought, I would love your feedback. Listen, every once in a while you're going to run into somebody who's not very kind. Most people are kind.
Yeah.
And now you do have to understand, sometimes they will want to defend their purchase. They won't want to admit it didn't work.
Well, sure.
And actually the best person to talk to is not the owner of the clinic, but a person who uses it, who actually is every day
One of the
using.
nurses, estheticians, laser.
Those are great references. Now the other thing in this day and age, a lot of these reps will come in and say, hey, we're not doing demos. You know, call the references, you got to believe it. I'm sorry, if I'm going to spend $100,000 or $200,000, you're going to bring me the equipment and I am going to play with it. I'm not going to invest money in something I can't touch and feel, try on our staff, get that feedback.
I mean, yeah, especially because our team their feedback is so essential to us, because we know if they love it and they want the treatment, then there is something there. Like it's working, and then they'll want to talk to their clients about it. It will grow, it will be successful. And so, I mean, for us, I just think that is such an essential piece. Even if I try it and it's like not my all-time favorite, you know, then I will absolutely say, well, wait, what about our team? What does our manager say?
Yes.
And it's like, well, it makes sense. Like if they're all happy, they're all after it, then it makes sense.
And the other thing that's so important is be very careful about adding a device that, one, just takes revenue that you have and moves it over, okay? So let's say you have a really good hair removal laser and you buy another really good hair removal laser. Is that going to increase your revenue? No. Now, if it's a little bit better, maybe your staff likes it better, but the better way to invest your money is something that opens up a new revenue stream. So let's say you've got an IPL, BBL device, you got a fractional device, but you don't have a hair removal device. And hair removal, you're doing with some IPL, but maybe you could have a dedicated room that new revenue. Or maybe you get into
Body.
tissue tightening, body stuff. So yeah, be careful of just, oh, that's a little bit better than what I have. That won't change your revenue. And the other thing to think about is the conditions it treats. Is there demand for that? You know, you may have an amazing piece of equipment that treats only angiomas in the ear. Well, you probably won't make a lot of money on that. I just made that up. But is there a demand for the conditions they're treating that you know can generate revenue? Another point is, listen, sometimes it is better. There's a saying, for the pioneers to get the arrows, the settlers to get the land. So when there's a technology that's so new, it's untested and stuff, there is something nice. Oh, we're the first to have it if you truly believe it works. But if you're unsure, maybe say, you know what, I'm going to back off. I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm going to see how the industry accepts this device.
Especially if you're on a tight budget. Especially if you don't have a lot of cash in your bank.
Exactly, yeah. And you know, another thing, and the reps will hate, Kathy and I know this well, listen, when you're negotiating a price, I firmly believe you need to make them say no. Because something goes on in this industry called an additive adjustment. And that means a rep will come in with a device that's $100,000. They'll give you a quote for $150,000, but they'll tell you they're giving a $50,000 discount. You're thinking, oh my God, that's a huge discount. No, they just raised the price and they backed out. So once you're sure you want a device, there's nothing wrong with making them a fairly low offer and making them say no. And then you know, hey, I'm getting to the point where I'm getting the best deal. And every $1,000 you save matters.
Definitely. They'll always come back with another offer.
Yes.
And you know, they're not going to just say no outright and disappear.
No. And the other story you get a lot is, okay, if you buy this by the end of the month, you can have this, but I won't be able to do that next month. 95% of the time, they can do it the next month. Don't get pressured into it. Don't get a timely pressure. Make sure you want the device, you believe in the device, you're getting a fair price for the device, then you should feel good about buying the device.
Definitely, and obviously they have goals and things that they're trying to reach, and that's part of the reason why they do it. But at the end of the day, they should also understand that we're also running a business. It needs to be the right timing for us first, and the good reps always do that.
Yeah, and one last thing to add, and this is for your reps who are selling consumables, your skincare, your Botox and Dysport, and your fillers, your cards for cool sculpting. These reps make money on how much they sell. And when they meet a quota, they get bonuses. So when they come in, a lot of times they'll say, listen, if before the end of this quarter, I can get you to buy X amount more, I can give you a discount. I'm not saying never take advantage of that discount, but make sure it's not a false sales goal, meaning, man, look, now I hit a platinum level. Yeah, but I didn't really sell enough to get to platinum level. And now I've got this huge stock. It's sitting on the shelf. And yeah, I saved 10%, but now it's sitting on the shelf for 6 months.
Right.
So buy within what you realistically can sell. Now, sometimes there's deals that are just too good. We had a great deal with Latisse where we were able to buy the 0.5 at the same price of the 0.3. Well, we know we sell a lot of Latisse. That made sense. But just make sure you're making a sound business decision for your business, not a decision to help the rep meet a goal.
I love it.
Yep.
Such great information. Even though we always tend to go over the minute.
Yes, it's the minutes, plural.
All right, so hope that was really helpful. We'll see you next time.